So I'm currently waiting for day 7's video to export, and I can't do anything on my tablet until that's exported, which is where I write. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm playing on Sims again, and this time I created Jacob, Alice, and Katie. And I'm just going to say it, watching them dance is one of my favorite things in the world. And that's all, because Jake is great at it. Alright, so I've gone back in and filled in some of the missing details on the character charts for Tito and Vito. So I know that a few of these have been filled in since the last time I showed you. But not all of them. I still don't have all of them. So these guys aren't introduced until book 2 of the Grimm series, Watchman. And I haven't gotten to rewriting that one yet, so I'm not 100% sure what they look like. I'll have to look at the dates to see when they come in. I'm not sure when this book will begin, so I've just been writing down all the people that they know at one time or another. Billy is introduced in the Manetti Horror Twins. She has grown up with them, more or less, so they would definitely know her, but I don't think she was ever described in that book. Gabriella, they know her as well in the Manetti Horror Twins, and I have a rough idea what she looks like. I know that she is Mexican, and I know that she has curly hair. I think it's brown, and I know that she's shorter than Jamal, but that's about it. I don't think her birthday was ever stated or anything like that. I have a rough idea of how old she is, but I can't remember exactly what it is. I feel like I wrote it down somewhere, but not in the notebook, which means that I don't have it right now. These guys didn't ever have birthdays written down in my notebook. They might have had a birthday mentioned at some point in the Manetti Horror Twins, but I'm not 100% sure. And Carmine was introduced in The Rise of Viper, and I think technically he was mentioned in Watchman at some point, but in The Rise of Viper, he's just introduced as Carmine, and at some point within the book, she calls him by his last name, but only once, and without searching through the whole book, like, by his name, you know, where there's over like 1,000 references to his name, I don't have a way to easily find his last name, so I think I'm going to have no choice but to physically actually read through the book, or at least skim it the best that I can, and see if I can find his last name. I know that he's relatively tall, probably around 6 foot. I know that he has dark hair, and I think he has blue eyes, but his last name is the thing that I need before I can write those descriptions. So I'm going to keep doing that, hopefully find at least something to go on for Carmine, and go from there. Alright, so I did manage to find Carmine's last name and all of his information. The birthday I just did a random generator for, and I do believe they were born in the same year, because there are a couple times where one of them says something to the effect of, when we were 16, when we were 18, which would insinuate they were born the same year, so that's what I'm going off of anyway. Alrighty, so I have officially decided to go full-on crazy for CampNaNo. This one would be book 1 of Freddy's series, and this would be Meki's story. The plan here is to leave the title open to interpretation, so that way if I decide I want to, I can eventually turn it into a series of Jamal's soldiers, because Meki is one of Jamal's soldiers. And I've kind of always wanted to do that, but I never had any idea if people would read it. But I think that if people like a small, presumably novella, I don't see it being a novel, of Jamal's men's pasts and everything that they were involved in before they met him, I think that could be interesting and people might like that. But I only have this part set up so far for both of them, and then back this way is the one for Meki. So the plan is also to do Dominic and Ash's story. That tied with, hold on, that one tied with the Bo Austin prequel, but I think that I'm more excited to work on Dom and Ash's story. I feel like after I finish posting Mammoth, I need a break from the prequels just for a little while. So that would be my first plan. But now I need to think up a title for Dom and Ash's story, and then we will go from there, and I will do my best to keep you guys updated. Hey guys, so it's actually a little after 4 p.m. on June 9th, but I didn't get to record an outro or any more progress yesterday before I went to sleep. But this is the only other progress I made on Meki's cover, and I will try to tap the screen there. There we go. I did a bit of shading on his face and some highlight above the brow bone and around the eye and down the nose. So I'm working on shading and going from there and seeing how it looks. I think that the background will probably eventually be black, and then it will fade into that to fit into the normal theme of anything that's related to Jamal and the Mafia books, but we will see. So that's the only other progress that I made. Last night before I went to sleep I didn't do any more writing down character names or anything on a synopsis or anything like that. I pretty much just worked on the cover for as long as my wrist could tolerate, and then I went to sleep. So that is all I have for day 8. Hopefully I will have a day 9 video coming soon as well. But if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, it's always appreciated, and if you would like to stay updated on my writing or CampNaNo, feel free to subscribe. All of the links to my author pages and my social media are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.